Hello everyone, welcome back to IT Tech Tarun channel. In this video, we are going to learn about compute service. What is Oracle Cloud Compute Service? And today topics are what is compute service, what are the components in the compute service such as image, shape, keypair, volume types, instance metadata. And in the demo part, we will see how to create VPC with a public subnet and how to create a keypair using Putty. And we also launch a Linux instance and login into that instance, and how to start and terminate the instance. Let's begin. What is compute service? OC compute service lets you provision and manage compute host known as instances. What does it mean? So compute means if you want to perform any operation, you require some CPU and memory, right? So if you give the input to the system, it will give to the output. In the middle, it will compute the operation, and it will give the output, right? So compute means OC compute service lets you provision and manage compute hosts known as instances. So compute service helps to create the such machines like this. If you have an CPU in your at home, the compute instance means CPU cores plus RAM. Okay, so this compute is located at the OC cloud provider data centers. So these are not hosted in our location. These are hosted in the cloud providers data center. These referred as instances. Instances means OC compute lets you, it will provision and manage compute host known as instances. Okay, OC offers two types of instances: bare metal instances and virtual machine instances. We will discuss in next part. Next, what is the use of compute service? So what is the purpose? By using this service, you can spin up provision an instance within a minute. If you want to do in the same operation in your location, first you need to go some computer shop and purchase the hardware, CPU, RAM, and this box, and then you need to install at your data center. It is a time-taking process, and you need to manage everything. As we discussed in the previous cloud elements, all these manage power, manage things. So by using compute service, we just define the how much compute we require, and within a few clicks, it will spin up an instance machine. Okay, the primary you can even reduce the RAM, increase the RAM, reduce the CPUs, increase the CPUs based on your requirement. In the in our data center, it is a little bit difficult, right? And based on the usage, you need to pay the bill. In the data center, you need to purchase everything before. So the cost perspective also, it is better. Performance also better, speed also better. Okay, now let's see what are the components in the compute service. The first component is image. OC uses images to launch instances. Image, it is a template of a virtual hard drive that determines the operating system. Those images can be Oracle provided custom images or bring your own images. What does it mean? Image means, for example, you have purchased a new laptop, a new system, and brought it to your home. After you have given all the hardware connection, the first thing is you need to install operating system, right? So either you need to install Windows or Ubuntu or some other flavor. Here the operating system in cloud we referred as a image. It is a template of virtual hard drive that determines the operating system. So which operating system do you want to install in your compute, in your instance? Okay, so currently Oracle provided these images: Oracle Linux, CentOS, Ubuntu, Windows Server 2012, 2008 and 2016. You can install these any of these uh, operating system, and also you can create your own custom image, or you can bring your own image if you have. What is mean by custom image? In the previous slide we have referred that you can bring also your custom image. Custom image means create a custom image of an instance boot disk and use it to launch other instances. Instances you launch from your custom images include customization, configuration, and software installed when you create the image. It does not include block volumes. We'll discuss what is block volume in later. A custom image cannot be exceed 300 GB. So what is meant by custom image? In the beginning, you install the base operating system. Let's suppose I have installed the Windows 7 operating system. After I install the operating system, I install some apps like VLC Player, Google Chrome, and Word Documents, Firefox, and some of the software I have installed. After I install this software, if I want to create another machine with the same features, rather than installing operating system after installing each of these software, one thing I can do is I can create this as an image, which means custom image include customization, configuration, and software installed when you create image. So first of all, I have a plain operating system. In that in the top of that, I install some my own softwares. After that, I make this as an image. Okay, when I want to spin up a new machine, I use this image as a operating system like that. So custom images mean general provided image plus your configurations or your softwares. Did you get it? Okay. So custom image contains operating system, and along with that some customization softwares you require. So it doesn't take, you no need to again install same softwares. It's like if you want to install same operating system, what you can do in general, what you can do is you want to you bring one more system and you want to do same things like install an operating system, then install download the VLC player, Windows, Google Chrome, and Word document, Firefox, then install everyone. Instead of that, you have already installed those softwares and everything in this machine. So we will take some backup, like kind of thing. It is in general we call it custom image. Custom image means this custom image include the our softwares, installed softwares and configurations. So we will take a custom image, and while installing we will give that custom image to this new instance, so that whenever it spin up, it open, it will contain all the softwares which we have installed to the previous system. Okay, so that is the purpose of the custom image. So you don't need to again install each and every software. Okay, that is called a custom image. Next, shapes. Shape a template that determines the number of CPUs, amount of memory, and other resources allocated today to a newly created instance. So what does it mean? So you have a instance. So in instance we have an CPU cores, the number of CPU cores, and the amount of RAM, right? So if you have your system, it has a number of cores and some GB of RAM, right? Then only you should do. So shapes means uh, it contains the how many CPUs do you require and how much RAM do you need. Based on you choose the CPU and memory, it will create the machine. Okay, it will bring the machine with that number of cores and that number of memory. These shapes are divided into bare metal shapes and VM shapes. We'll see in next slide. Okay, shapes are divided. So we'll see what is the bare metal and virtual machine. A bare metal compute instance gives you dedicated physical server access for the highest performance and strong isolation. A virtual machine is an independent compute environment that runs on the top of bare metal hardware. So if you have a background of virtualization, you easily can able to understand. Otherwise, I will try to. Okay, what is bare metal? A bare metal compute instance give you dedicated physical server access for highest performance and strong isolation. So firstly, on the cloud you have a hardware. This is a hardware. It contains CPUs, RAMs. So in that hardware, they will give access for this hardware. They will give complete access for this hardware. In that hardware, you can able to create machines. In the cloud, we call it instances. Okay, you can able to create instances. Let's take this hardware contains there are GBs of 50 GB of hardware and 50 GB of RAM and 40 cores, 40 CPU cores. So we will create we will create 4 machines. Each machines have 10 CPU core and 10 GB of RAM. So we'll create like that. So we have created, just a second. So we have created. So these complete hardware is dedicated for us. No one have an access to these hardware, and the instances which are created by using this hardware also we have a complete access, and these are all belongs to ours. Okay. The next one is, that is bare metal. Bare metal means direct hardware access. Customer get the full bare metal server. So this is a bare metal server. It contains this hardware. They have a direct access and bare metal server, single tenant mode. So this bare metal is completely belongs to us. The second type of machine is virtual machine. A hypervisor to virtualize the underlying bare metal server into smaller VMs, multi-tenant mode. Cloud providers also give an option such as virtual machine instances, which means suppose this is a hardware. In that hardware we have generally installed some hypervisor. In that hypervisor is easy to create the machines on top of machines, and it provides the isolation. It looks a independent machine. So it is a Windows machine, and this is the Linux machine, and this is the Oracle Linux and Windows XP, Windows 7. So there are four customers are there. This hardware is belongs to the cloud provider. In that hardware, they already installed the hypervisor. So you just want a one machine, Windows machine. So if you go for the virtual machine, so it will this is a shared model, means this hardware is shared by many customers. So the machine you have created is hosted in this hardware. This is your machine, yours. This might be some other customer, and this might be some other customer B. This might be customer C. So these four guys are sharing the hardware, sharing the same hardware. So in this case, this you have you have purchased the complete hardware, so no one else will access this system and no one else created in this your hardware. But in the case you have go for the virtual machines, right? So virtual machines means some other hardware, cloud provider hardware, they will provide some part of hardware, they will provide to you. Some other part they might be uh, uh, give to the other customer. Why do we go for this? Means to reduce the cost. In this case, you need to purchase everything. For example, you just want 4 GB of RAM and 4 core CPUs. At the time, you generally go for the VMs, right? In case if you purchase this 50 GB RAM and 40 CPU cores, it doesn't basically it doesn't uh, have your requirement. Your requirement is just 4 GB and 4 cores of CPU. If you purchase this amount of RAM and this amount of CPU cores, it is waste of your money, right? So to reduce the cost and to for your requirement, we go for the based on our requirement, we go either a bare metal or dedicated, sorry, VMs. So in the VM session, the hardware is shared by many customers. In the bare metal instances, you have complete access on these instances, or these machines created in that hardware is belongs to you only. Okay, this is the bare metal and virtual machine. A bare metal complete instance gives you dedicated physical server. They will give some dedicated physical server and access for highest performance and stronger isolation. So no one else can able to access these servers. Okay. A virtual machine is an independent computing environment that runs on the top of physical bare metal hardware. So virtual machines means on the top of hardware they generally install the hypervisor, EXXI, or some VM virtualization softwares are there. So they install in that hardware, and on the top of hardware we spin up our instances. So this is a bare metal and virtual instance. So bare metal instance type. Coming to the types of instances, based on our requirement, we choose the bare metal type. It will come to the maximum RAM. Currently, the maximum RAM is 768 and the CPU cores are 52. It will have an 2 into 25 GB per second bandwidth they will provide, and maximum Linux we can attach to that hardware is 52. Linux means card, network card. Okay, and we have a standard dense Based on our requirement, we choose. In the VM types, VM standard instances, we have a. It will start a minimum of 15 GB of RAM, and the core is one CPU core, one OCP core. OCPU nothing but it is CPU core. AMD, I think they have their own hardware. So the network bandwidth, it will provide 1 Gbps. It like a is taken. So you want some instance which have 15 GB of RAM and one CPU, one CPU core, then and 1 GB per second bandwidth. It will support two Linux, means two LAN cables. You can assume like that. So then we will go for the VM standard. If you want more RAM and more OCPs, then based on your requirement, you can choose in these types. So we have a VM standard, we have a dense standard, okay, and also if you have some GPU purpose, then they also provide the VM GPU3. Based on our requirement, we choose the instance type. Okay, next, KeyPair, a security mechanism required for secure shell access to instance. Before you launch an instances, you need at least one KeyPair for a Linux machine. KeyPair generally used to log in our instances. Means you have created an Linux instances. So Linux instances will provide we can log in Linux instances in two ways. One is using password. The second one is without password, means secure shell access. Secure shell access. For secure shell access, we need to create some KeyPair. Maybe you have heard public and private key. So we create public and private key, and we'll put into that. So if you want to log in the Linux machines, you first have a KeyPair. We need to create a public and private key, and while spin up an Linux machine, we need to put this keys into that instances, so that whenever we are trying to log in into that instances, we need to give this private key to log in. Without this private key, you can't able to log in. By default, in Maxon Cloud, it will come secure shell access. Using password is temporarily disabled. You can enable once you log in into that instances. You can able to log in, and you can use your password and username. Okay. KeyPair is we need to create some public and private key before launching an instances. The next one is volume types. Boot volume. We have two types of volume in OCI: boot volume and block volume. What is boot volume? A storage volume device that contains the image used to boot compute instance. Which means, so if you take an instance in that in this instance, we have a hard disk, right? So in that hard disk, this hard drive contains operating system and some other files. So a storage volume device that contains the image used to boot computer instance. So in order to open the computer, it first boot the operating system. So the operating system is located in the hard disk in our home system, right? The same way in cloud, we generally call a boot volume, the disk which contains the operating system or image, which generally referred as a boot volume. So this boot volume contains the operating system information, information. All the things are stored in this hard disk, this drive. So this drive generally we refer as a boot volume. Okay. The next one is block volume. It is a detachable block storage device that allows you dynamically expand the storage capacity of an instance. So you have a open the instance and you need to store some other files. Either let's take in, you have a pen drive and you have attached this pen drive into the system and you copied the files. You can expand your a block volume is a detachable block storage device that allows you dynamically expand the storage capacity of an instances. So you can create the storage. Let's say I have 100 GB of storage. You can create 100 GB of block storage and then you just attach. It's like a attaching pen drive. So once you can even detach that pen drive, you can even detach that block volume and attach to other instances. This is also possible. Okay, so boot volume is the volume which contains a storage volume that contains the image which is used to boot. A block volume means it is a detachable storage which is used to store your files. You can create 1000 GB of block volume and you can attach to this and you mount this volume into your instances and you store your files into this block volume. Once you can even unmount this volume and attach to the another machine so that this machine can able to have all the files, okay. So we have two types of volume, boot volume and block volume. Next, instance metadata. Instance metadata includes its OCID, Oracle Cloud Identification Number, and the name, compartment, shape, region, availability domain, creation date, state, image, and any custom metadata such as SSH public key. So every instance contains these information. If you want to see this information, once you have logged in your instances, you need to enter this command either in Linux machines. You need to give in the terminal. In the Windows, you need to open this HTTP 169 IP address in the Chrome or Mozilla browser, so that you can able to know what is your OCID, what is your compartment name, what is shape of your CPU, where that compute instance has been deployed, availability, what is the availability domain, when it was created, whether that instance is running on. So this kind of information we can able to see. Okay, so these are the things we need to know before going to the demo. So in the demo we will see how to the first one is we will see how to create private and public key using Puttygen. For that you need to download Puttygen software if you are using the Windows, or else if you are using Linux based machines, you need to give the SSH keygen command. We just give, I am going to show in the Windows machine. So I have already downloaded the Puttygen and installed. Sorry, this is a Putty and Puttygen. I will give the links in the description. So you go there and download the softwares. So this is the Putty generator software. By using this software, you need to create public and private key. So there is a button called generate. So click on that button and you can have some random clicks in this area. You need to move your mouse icon. Okay, it was created. So you need to save these key, note it down in your notepad and save securely. If you lost this key, you have never able to log in that instances. Okay, this is a fingerprint. save public, save private key. So you need to save both keys securely. In downloads part, my uSape keys, public key. Public key we generally have a extension of PUB. Private key contains extension of PPK, Putty private key. Okay, so we have two keys. We have just created the public and private keys using the Puttygen, and you also need to save this keygen. Next, we create the VPC with the public subnet. Okay, we go for the OSA console page. So console.us-hashburn.oracle.com, and you need to log in. Give your tenancy details and continue to log in. Provide your Gmail ID and your email ID and password which you created at the time of account creation. This is my Oracle console page. There I can go here, compute. There is an insurance option button is there. Click on that. Sorry, first I need to create a network, right? So go to network and create. I will create Frankfurt region. I have already some other. Okay, I will create Linux instance in the Ashburn region. I have already VPC there. I just delete this one. So I will delete later. So click on the create virtual network. This is the my VPC, and click on the compartment. Create virtual cloud only. Create virtual cloud network plus related resources. If you click on this one, it will automatically create the internet gateway, route tables, security list, default route table. It will automatically create 3 public subnets. Okay, so just click on that. If you don't know what is internet gateway, you better to watch my previous videos. In case if you select this one, you need to manually create everything. So at this point of time, we just go for the default. Okay, I'll just click created. So it will take a few seconds to create VPC and create the 3 public subnets, and it will automatically create the internet gateway. It will automatically route the traffic to the internet gateway. So it created my VPC, and it has 3 public subnets. You can spin up installs in any public subnets in this VPC. Okay, we'll go to the compute and go to the instances. I have already 2 instances in there. I just create one more instance. In your case, you don't have any instances because you don't create it before. So just a second. I better to terminate one. Okay. 82, 83. Okay. So my Linux instance. So here it is asking where do you want to create that instances. There are 3 availability domains, means 3 data centers. Where do you want to put this machine? And here you can choose your operating system. So it will provide Oracle Linux, CentOS, Canonical Ubuntu, and as we discussed in the earlier, you can create custom images You can bring your own images, or else you can choose Oracle provided images. I just want to go CentOS 7 and select an image. This is the shape. Choose instance shape. So we have discussed based on our requirement we can choose. If you want, by default it will select the VM shape, VM standard 2.1, which contains one CPU, one Oracle CPU, and 15 GB of RAM, and it will provide 1 GB per second bandwidth. For our test purpose, we can go for this machine. Okay, and add SSH keys. As we discussed, we are going to use a secure shell access SSH. So we need to give the SSH key file, or we can paste the SSH key which we have created earlier. We have created this key, right? So we just copy and paste here. Okay. So this SSH key. Okay. I'll leave it. So here you need to choose virtual networking. Go to the TARUN compartment, and we have just created my VPC. This my VPC. Okay. Subnet. There is automatically in availability domain 1. We have already on subnet user. Click on that one and click on create. So it will take 2 minutes of time, 2 to 3 minutes of time to create the machine and up the machine. You can see it's provisioning, means it's installing. It's creating the machine with that shape. Okay. Once it create the machine, you will get the public IP address. So before that, you need to download Putty in your system. So I have already downloaded and installed. I will provide the links in the description. So I download the Putty and the Puttygen. Okay. So the public IP address is key, and we have also private IP address. In public, by using this public IP address, we can able to access these instances. Just give some more time. It will turns into green color. Then we can able to access. So the default username for the machine is OPC. Okay, OPC @ we give the IP address which the instance have, and we need to provide the key, the private key. So go to the SSH, and in the SSH there is a R section is there. Click on that. In the browse session, you need to browse that key. Where is that? Downloads. OKeys. My OC. So you can see this turns into the green symbol. So this is my private key. Okay. Go back to the session and click on the open. Actually, we need to give some more time to spin up an instance. Here, browse your private key. If you get any connection network error, just wait some more time, then try to access. Then you will get this kind of pop-up error. Click on the yes, and the username for the Linux machines is OPC, Oracle Public Code, and click on the enter. So it will check your key with the public key, and it log into the machine. You have successfully launched a machine. The next part is log into the instance and check the metadata. What is metadata? Metadata means data about data which contains the OCID, what is the name, compartment, shape, these information it contains. So if you want to access this metadata, you just copy this command, curl and IP address, paste it in the terminal. Okay. User data. Okay, I will check this metadata and I will inform matter where something is found. Okay, this part we can see how to stop, start, and terminate the instances. So your work has been completed and you just want to stop this instance, then you go to this, there is a stop button is there. So if you stop the instance, you won't get charged for the compute power like CPU and RAM, but you can charge for the storage which you have hold. Okay, so if you stop the instances, they won't charge for the compute power. So you just stop your instances, and if you want start, you can start. Or else if you don't want this machine, you can terminate. Terminate means which will delete the boot volume, the your data and the operating system, everything it will erase. So I just terminate the instances. So it's a better way if you are using the for some test instances. Just log in once your work has been over. This stop, or if it doesn't want that machine, you can better to terminate that instances to save the cost. Okay, uh, that's for today. So I will check metadata and inform the next video. That's it. Thanks for the watching for my video, and check this blog for more information. Thanks. Thank you. Bye bye.
Click on the subscribe button and also click on the bell icon to get notification. Subscribe, share, like and comment. Thank you.